Welcome to Murdoch's Garage. This is my first video, so hopefully it goes all right. Now I know there's a lot of videos about installing tops on Miatas out there, but I haven't found any for this specific top. I have a 1991 Miata and I love the zippered top. I know a lot of people like the zipperless because it just folds down, comes back up, you don't have to screw with the zipper. But I really like being able to unzip the rear window and leave the side windows down to let air flow through the car when it's too hot to have the top completely down. And it's a lot cheaper than getting a bikini top, and I don't really like how those look anyways. So when I went out to find a top, I wanted canvas. I wanted to upgrade to a glass rear window, and I also wanted to keep the zipper. So I had a look around, found a few tops that offered that. Now, much to my surprise, I didn't realize that the top frame isn't made to support the extra weight of a glass rear window. So in the video, you will kind of see me put on these support straps that the NBs had to support the glass, but those are in a zipperless top. When you have a zipper, you can't use the straps because they're in the way of letting the rear glass fall down, which I found out after I put them half in. So there's a little mistake I did already. Now this top install took me kind of 4 days total. It's the first time I put a top on a car, and this one was kind of a monster. The top I found was made by Sierra Auto Tops. It uses Stay Fast canvas. It's a really nice quality top, but it's lacking instructions. They say if you email them and ask for instructions, they will be sent on request. I did receive instructions, but it's for a standard zipperless window. So it helped a little bit. Also referencing the Robbins top helped some, but there were no clear instructions on how to actually deal with the glass rear window, how to support it. Also a few little finicky things here and there weren't explained at all. And there's these little tabs on the sides that come down by the side windows. They have holes in the ends of them. They're about this long. So they, I assume, should attach to something, but there was nothing in any of the instructions about them. The only thing they're close to in the top is a lot of mechanisms that bend and expand and contract as the top goes back and forth. And there's not a single one of those in reach that it can attach to that it won't overstretch when it opens and closes. So I don't know what they're for. They're just kind of stuffed up behind the bows right now. It seems like they're maybe to help tighten in the center of the top, but they don't seem to be completely needed, as I haven't really had any issues with the top at all after I got it installed. Like I said, I know there's a lot of videos about installing tops on Miatas out there, so this isn't necessarily a step-by-step tutorial. It does show everything I went through in a sped up form, but I mostly just wanted to point out the differences in how to get past all the hurdles of installing one of these tops. So with that, let's get to it. My car's a little mid-project here, but you want to start by taking out your seats, center console, carpet in the rear deck. Disconnect the top of the seat belts, get all the plastics around the door out. Obviously do the same thing on the opposite side. And then it's time to open up the top and get at the rain rail. There are 3 pieces that clamp the top and the rain rail to the frame. Work your way around the back, taking off all the nuts. If you notice the replacement panels, they are laser cut aluminum made by LRB Speed. They're pretty awesome. I needed to replace mine as they were completely rusted through. Now you can see the right piece for a split second and then the main center clamp. After that, I get the left side clamp out. The top is sandwiched in the rain rail. Now you need to pull the top free from the studs in the frame. You may need to go around the outside, especially back in the corners, to get it free. Now there are just 3 bolts on each side, and then the top should lift right out. It is a little heavy and awkward, so you may want to get some help, but I was able to do it by myself. Put it somewhere safe since the new top will use the old frame. Now I'm pulling the old rain rail out. You always want to buy a new rain rail. A lot of people say you can patch it, duct tape it, maybe if it's not too badly damaged, but I would always buy a rain rail. And not only that, I would buy a rain rail that comes pre-attached to the top. That was one of the major things I had to do was get it attached. Took me hours. Also, here's some footage of what the rain rail looks like, how bad condition it is. This is the original one from 1991, and that's why you always want to buy a new rain rail. It's just falling to pieces. Here's one of the drain holes that the rain rail runs to. You can see just how much debris is in there, and in my case it was completely packed solid with dirt. I had to get a long screwdriver to shove down the hole to clear the blockage. Here's a quick shot of what it looks like after I cleaned it out. As you can see, the hole's clear to flow some water now. And here's the main reason I had to get a new top. The zipper in the rear window broke, and it's a proprietary size, so either you have to get a whole new top or you have to take the top off and take it to a professional to get a new zipper sewn on. To separate the top from the frame, start by removing the latches and weather molding. The weather molding will pull free from the metal bracket below. Unscrew the brackets and place it all in a safe spot, making sure to keep everything in the same order so it can go back in its original position. Now you can remove the clamp that holds the top to the front bow and start drilling out the rivets that hold the rest of the top in place. Once the rivets are free, remove the tensioning cables and cut the material on the inner bows to release the top. I would strongly suggest buying new tensioning cables as well. I did not, and found one of mine was broke and the other was not far behind. Now with the new top, insert your new tensioning cables. Thankfully, this top came with strings pre-installed to just pull the cables through. Now place the frame on the top while trying to line up the front edge. Grab the front clamp and reinstall it to secure the front of the top. Check the fitment of the top to the frame and then grab your rivet gun and get to work. All the holes are pre-manufactured into the top, so it's a pretty simple process of lining it all up. Just start towards the front and work your way back. I would also suggest taping up or covering the rear window. I felt like I was pretty careful with mine, but managed to get quite a few scratches in it in the installation process. Now I'm making holes in the support straps that will be used to rivet them to the frame. I just grabbed a nail, heated it up with a torch, and pressed it through the strap. Now I'm drilling and riveting the straps to the back bows. This is where I made a big mistake, as I didn't realize the very rear bow actually has to run through the top, so my straps were in the wrong location. You'll see what I mean by that in the next clip. Also, the longer straps that are made to support the weight of a glass window are completely useless on the zippered top. Now it's time to get the tensioning cables fully installed to their proper location. You can go ahead and reinstall the weather moldings at any time. You may notice I don't have any footage of installing the rain rail. It was a very frustrating few hours of trying to get it attached, which again is why I suggest buying one with a pre-installed rain rail. Alright, so I found out that this bar right here needs to go through this hole that goes around the top. You gotta feed that bar through because these straps I can't use with the zippered top. So to do that, you gotta get these bolts out. The problem is both of them have stripped. So here's where I hit my first real hurdle. I didn't know that the bolts are actually welded to the nuts that are on the frame. So to save you a bunch of footage of me drilling out this bolt, if you're doing this, you just need to get to the backside of the nut and grind down the weld. I did this for the second bolt and it came out just fine. The bolt is a specialty bolt that you'll want to be able to save along with the bushing that I also happened to destroy during the extract. I looked for a really long time and wasn't able to find these bolts or bushings anywhere. So here's what the nut looks like. It has a little tack weld that you'll have to grind down. Here's what the bushing to the bolt looks like. Since I destroyed the other one and wasn't able to find a replacement, I decided to 3D print one. So here's a little footage of getting it all drawn up and ready to go. Alright, so we know how big around it is. We know this circumference, or this diameter. We know the inside diameter. Know how tall this is and how tall that is. That should be all we need to know. All right, let's go to the computer. All right, so here's our original part, and here is the 3D part I came up with. As you can see, from this side it matches the outer diameter of that matches, but I had to find my own bolts, which mean they didn't have that weird collar on them. So the inside had to be smaller to work with these. They might be slightly tight fit, but that's okay. We can thread them through and they'll kind of stay in place. But let's see if they fit. There we go, it's seated. Then for the other side, I'm going to replace with these washers because again, that inside diameter had to change. So that's going to go on there. And then this will go in there. And I'll put some red thread locker on this nut for this side. The other side of the bar kept the nut on. So don't have to worry about it on the other side. I'll just throw some red thread locker in it and screw in the other one. Thread locker. And there we go. Hopefully the thread locker keeps the bolt on okay. If not, I'm gonna have to get a locking nut, I guess, and put that on. All right, now I'll do the other side and then we can try to put the top back in the car. All right, time to attempt to put the top in, bolt it up. Since it's a zippered top with a glass window, I'm not sure if it needs to be unzipped or if it can close while it's still zipped. I have a feeling it's going to need to be unzipped for it to get in the right position to go in the holes. So I guess let's give it a go, see what happens. So close right there. Rain rail. Might be it's too far forward. It might be the rain rail pushing it. Okay, now that we got the top in position, let's see if we can get the rain rail started here. I have a feeling it's going to be a huge pain. This heavy glass is in the way. I'm gonna have to keep that up. I gotta somehow get all these bolts to line up and get started so then I can put this on. I'm supposed to have these washers to protect from
rain coming through. They go on the bolts. I have them already on, all the bolts on the outside. Then you're supposed to put the rain rail on. The rain rail already has some inside of it. Then you're supposed to put these over the top, and then this bar on top of that. There's no way the bolts are long enough. So I guess I'm going to leave them off on the inside because there's no other way to make it work. There's so many layers of fabric back there. It feels like it's making it through all but kind of the last two. So I'm gonna have to do some cutting if I can. Another job that should be pretty good for a hook blade. These things are super handy. The only thing that sucks is I can't see it. I have to do it by feel. There we go. Just enough to get it through. Okay. Move that out of the way. This in here. These bolts up there. Seems like it mates up nicely. Okay. Got the right side in. Right side in somewhat. Got the bolts or the nuts on, not tightened yet. This one looks like it's doing okay so far. Might have the same problem down. No, the bolt came through. Okay. So you get that side on. Well, I had to look around. Can't find any more of these. I know one of them's missing down in here. I have a feeling one of them was missing before I even started. The previous owners have definitely been in here in some form. It was a little weird in here, and then I found some things on the top that don't match and are definitely not OEM. So I don't know what they did because it was still the original top, but they were definitely doing something in here at some point. So I think I'm just going to get this secured with the bolts I have, probably one in the front and the back, and then put one in here in the end to get this bar secured, and then I'll have to go to the hardware store and get 3 more of these, I guess. Oh, it's on. It's on. Before it pops off, hurry. Woo. Basically tight anyways. All right. Besides the 3 bolts I'm missing, everything's tight. Now let's get the top stretched, I guess. Just gotta loosen up the latches, hook it on, and slowly tighten them down. May wait till tomorrow to do it because it's in the evening now and it's cooling off. I hear it's easier to do in the warm sun, so may wait till tomorrow, but it's on, finally, after 3 days of work. All right, so I have yet another problem with the top. I'll show you right here. This back bow sticks out past the window or past the roof. So not only that, but, and you see that's where it just wants to sit. Also, when the window is zipped up, this metal was rubbing on the window and It's already got, it's kind of cutting up. There's a part of the seal around there is kind of digging into, and it also rattles real bad when there's some vibration in the road bouncing against a window. So I cut a piece of wood out. It's the right length. I'm going to prop this up with that. Then if we take a look in here, I'm going to use the straps that came with the kit that originally is supposed to go from here to here, which you can't do because obviously the zipper's in the way. So I'm going to try to rivet those in and go from there to there to keep that hopefully in position about right there. And that'd be all the farther I'll let it open. So hopefully that works. We'll give that a shot. If that works, then that should be finally the last thing I need to do to get this top going. So let's see how it goes. All right, got the straps in. Now it should be better. You can see it's hidden back. The bar's about right here. So it's got a good that far till the edge. So it's nice to clear the window. The window should also be tighter. Show you on the inside. There's the strap I put in place. It's more light there. So just simple, riveted in like it's supposed to be. This side is just a little bit looser, but it still holds it just fine. So it should finally be the top done. Hopefully, we will see.
So there you have it. After 4 days of struggling, the top is on. For the sake of time, I won't be able to show you all my failed attempts, but this does show all the steps needed to install the top. Now I'm going to kind of negate this whole video and tell you if you want a zippered top, just save yourself the trouble and get a plastic window. But if you really want glass, it can be done, and that's how you do it. If this video helped you in any way, I'd appreciate a like or a sub. I'm not exactly sure what else I'm going to be putting out on this. But for those of you with a sharp eye and in the know, you may have noticed my NRG Prisma seat and know that they don't fit Miatas. But that is a story for another time. And finally, here's the finished product.